and this is my 1968 GTO.
1968 was a year of seismic change for the GTO. From 64 to 67, you could see a real evolution. For 68, it was totally new. New wheelbase, new body, new everything. This is Muscle Car Campy, and we've got a fantastic award-winning goat for you here today. This car was really born to run. Manual steering, 400 cubes, 390 gears, forget about it. And before we get started, don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video drops. We got some killer stuff coming up. You won't want to miss any of it. Our featured GTO is owned by Pam Smith, a little not so old lady, and she's not from Pasadena, but she loves to run this goat up through its gears, banging them on the way. No air conditioning, no power steering, no problem. She loves it. This was actually her daily driver for many, many years. When she found the car, it wasn't even for sale. The original owner, Ray Buckner, was selling a Camaro that her husband was looking to buy. She saw this car, fell in love with it. Took her 3.5 hours of bothering the man and offering money. Finally, he relented, said, take the car, go home. And she's been loving it ever since. My first heroic encounter with a 68 GTO came in around 1977. I was just a kid working in an Exxon station. And this guy came rumbling in a primered and rusty goat. And this thing was bad to the bone. It was loud, it was jacked up, it had 5-slot mags. The owner was a guy named Billy Becker, and he was the ultimate mid-70s cliche. Long stringy hair, mustache, jean jacket, and a pack of Marlboros always by his side. One day, he gave me a ride in this GTO, and it changed my life forever. We left the Exxon station, tires spinning, going sideways. We got straight. He power shifted second, power shifted third, then let off. And I was never the same again.
Designer Bill Porter, who was largely responsible for the body's new shape, described it as a monocoque shell form with elliptical pressure bulges over the wheels. That's a mouthful, but it sure was sexy. Optional were hidden headlights, a first for the GTO, but Pam's car did not get them. Hot Rod Magazine went 1425 at 99 miles per hour with a 350 horse stick car, just like this one.
This is a pretty base car when it was new. 350, 3-speed. One of the options that it did get was the Rally 1 wheels. If you ordered a 68 GTO, it came standard with dog dish hubcaps and redline tires. The next step up was the redlines with these Rally 1s. A lot of people associate the Rally 1s more with the earlier cars, but I think they look great. I mean, I think they're just terrific on this body. And they're really a departure because most of the 68, 69 GTOs have Rally 2s. As we said earlier, this is a pretty basic car. It had a 350 horse, 400, and a 3-speed transmission. Now the engine has been upgraded. It was rebuilt in 1979 by the current owner's husband. It was machined by no less a shop than Sox and Martin, but we don't think it's stock. The current owner is not sure, but they advertise it as a 360 horsepower car, which is probably indicative of the extra work that he did to it. But as you can tell by the WT sticker and the standard manifolds, this is just a 350 horse car. It does look at the manifolds. The HO, which was the next step up with 360 horse, had a more swept back header style manifold. This thing is just so interesting under the hood. They did add power brakes to it. Did not happen from the factory. We love the fact that the woman who owns the car bangs gears in that 4-speed all the time. It's got 390 gears in it right now, so plenty fast. She doesn't miss not having power steering, doesn't miss having an automatic transmission. In fact, I really think she wouldn't have it any other way. The interior of the 68 GTO is no less dramatic than the exterior. I love looking out over that bulging hood with the twin offset scoops. This one now has a hood tack. It has a clock in the binnacle to the right of the speedometer. You could get a tack in there if you didn't get a hood tack, but I just love the way it's all laid out. I like the vertical heater and defroster setup. One option the car got was AM/FM with a rear speaker. Being an original 3-speed car, it's still got a Hurst shifter. This one is now a 4-speed. It's just amazing. The dash pad is original, even with 116,000 miles on it. What a car. Like the wood grain. Love everything about it. I mean, Pam was silly enough to leave the keys in it. Do you think I should just take it? All right, so we're here with Pam Smith, owner of this amazing Starlight Black 68 GTO. Pam, you got it in 1979, and it seems like you love it as much today as you did then, maybe more.
Sometimes. I like the rear end.
It's a 390 gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing's got plenty of get up and go, that's for sure.
And it's a really old engine.
Yeah, you said it was
rebuilt in 79.
Did Lockheed Martin do the rebuild, or did they just do the machine work?
They did the machine work. My husband did the rebuild.
He did the rebuild. Obviously, he knew what he was doing, because it's pretty awesome.
Well, he was a master technician himself.
You said he worked at dealerships and
Pontiac dealerships.
Wow.
And he actually saw these cars when they came off the trucks into the dealerships.
Don't be afraid. If you want to get on it and have some fun, be my guest. Ma'am, what's your favorite part of the car? Is it
I like the fact that it gets out of its way when somebody's coming. I don't have to worry about not having enough horsepower.
No, that's one thing you never have to worry about with a GTO, is having enough horsepower and torque.
But I can also see all the way around it.
Yes.
I have a fear of not being able to see something.
And this car is beautiful vision. All modern cars, the A-pillars are twice as wide and make it, even from the front 3/4, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
You said you had a couple of really interesting stories with this car, one involving a seatbelt.
When they first started enforcing the seatbelt laws, they were stopping people and reminding them that they were going to start giving tickets. So I was actually stopped, and the state trooper saw that I did not have a seatbelt on. And he asked me, he said, "Do you have seatbelts in this car?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, you're not wearing one." I said, "No, I'm not going to. I plan on keeping it forever, and I don't want to mess them up." They still have the original tags on them.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't look like the shoulder harnesses have ever been off the roof.
No, they haven't. And he said, "Well, you know we're going to start giving tickets." And I said, "Only if you can catch me."
Only if you can catch me. That's the kind of attitude I like.
And then I had another friend that was a police officer, and he said, "I'll race you to the next stoplight." Well, of course, I burned rubber all the way to the next stoplight. And he pulled up beside me and said, "I don't know you." I said, "You started it."
You were just doing what the policeman told you to do. You weren't breaking any laws.
No.
When you guys decided to restore the car, what year was that?
The original restoration was an off frame, and it was in 1979. Then he did an on frame restoration in 2012.
Okay. So you did an off frame right after you got it.
Right.
Wow. What kind of shape was it in?
It was in excellent shape, and everything was just like you see it here. But he said he was only going to do it one time. So he wanted to restore it because he knew I was going to drive it.
Yeah.
So he wanted to restore it so that I could drive it and not have any problems.
And that wasn't really, back in those days, it wasn't $1 million deal to do a restoration like that. Today, an off-the-frame restoration on a car like this, you're looking at $150,000 to $200,000 easily.
Yeah, because there's so many hours.
Yep.
I mean, it took him over a year. to do everything because he cleaned the chassis with toothbrushes. I mean, he was so particular about everything had to be perfect. But that was the way he was about everything.
Is that when the color was changed to black?
Yes.
Okay. And so it's been black since '79.
Correct.
It must have been, the body had to be in great shape because
Oh yeah, it had never been wrecked.
the car is straight as an arrow down the sides. I mean, it's absolutely spectacular. But
and we never had any problems with it. But like I said, I rode down the road all the time, my thumb on the horn, daring anybody get close to me.
Yeah. Well, I will say this is an absolute joy to ride in. You're a great woman.
Well, thank you.
Love the way you just handle this car like it's a brand new car. But I guess you've been driving it long enough. You've got pretty good amount of
since '79. That's true.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Pam, is a real pleasure. Thank you
pleasure.
very
Thank you.
much. All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Muscle Car Campy saying see you later. Thank you, Pam, for letting me shoot your gorgeous '68 GTO. I hope you put many more miles and many more smiles on it. Keep banging those gears. Everybody else, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You'll want to see all the cool cars we've got coming up.